name is Jim Joyner. I'm the junior warden here at Nativity Episcopal Church in Burnsville. The vestry and staff have been working hard to make sure we continue to live and practice our core values while staying focused on our mission. Our mission here at Nativity is simple. We're an inclusive faith community nourished in body, mind, and spirit of the people of our South Metro neighborhood. Our core values are Eucharistic worship, community and fellowship, music and faith formation for all ages. We pledge to anchor ourselves in these core values and to stay rooted and stable during these challenging and changing times. We will be discussing all the activities related to our core values later in the video.
Hello, Nativity. We miss being together in this space. As you can tell by looking at what's behind me, the last time we were here was Lent. And even though we are now in the season of Pentecost, it does feel like it's been a long Lent. But we here at Nativity are working ever so hard to continue to gather our community as we're gathering online. The vestry has decided to start meeting twice a month. And two of the things that they've developed is an online worship team, a team specifically designed to help us do worship well online. And Nick, our senior warden, and George Johnson, who is a member of our vestry, head up an IT team, and that team is looking for more people to join them and helping us do worship online even better. At some point, and I hope soon, we'll be able to gather, at least in small numbers, but we will always offer worship online for those who can't join us in person. And so to that end, we need to develop how we do online streaming while we're in the sanctuary. So we have the right audio, the right visual, which is a whole new thing for us to need to develop from how we've been streaming at home. So if you're one of those people who have those gifts, or know someone like maybe you're a young adult in your house who might want to join us in this effort, it might be a perfect place for them to plug into leadership here at Nativity. So just know, we continue to gather and worship together, even though we're separated by distance. The second team that the vestry has developed is a team about using the building. And that has a whole lot of things that we need to figure out. One of the nice things about not being the first church to open in our area is it will give us time to learn some from other people's experiences. We do need to figure out how it is that people will enter the building, how it is that people will use the offering plate or receive communion. Lots of things for us to figure out, but we're working on that as we develop this new team that will help us understand the best practices for being together in a way that's safe. We'll also be addressing those people who use our space, people who we either loan our space to or rent our space to. What is the best and safest way for them also to gather here at Nativity? So just know, you are thought of and prayed for, whether we're in this space or whether we're separated. We together are the body of Christ, and we are the church.
Okay, we'll talk about community and fellowship. The care teams have reached out to all of the parishioners, usually on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Hopefully they've reached out to you. They've done made mass, they've delivered mass, delivered groceries, as well as helping those who just need to talk. And they continue to do this work as we work through our current situation. The community outreach team is continuing to partner with Orchard Lake Elementary. They're collecting supplies for those in need and for families who, for families who just need, a little extra help in this difficult time. They also are partnering to work with families who use the community garden, and they're working on planting progress right now as we speak. We're looking also to different ways to be creative and try to do our Wednesday night or our typical Wednesday meals in a different way, and try to provide food for food pantries and so on.
Faith Formation at Nativity continues. Jean Hansen, an incredible gift to our faith community, continues to work hard each week as we're developing how we're going to do faith formation throughout the summer months as well as into the fall. Because, of course, we're not sure what that's going to look like. And so we need to work at maybe a hybrid situation where some might be here and some might be at home, and some might decide to do it as families, and we might be able to offer it intergenerationally. So there's so many things that we're looking at. We have a number of people from our parish who are joining us for the Faithful Innovation Summit, a 3-day workshop that will be online but offered through Luther Seminary to help us and other churches who are trying to cast a vision for faith formation for the members of its community. Jean has been doing things online with children, and we've just ended those opportunities as we're developing how we can gather particularly youth and in possible face-to-face but socially distant events. More will be coming on that soon. One of the things we did with youth as a result of a lot of the unrest that has happened regarding the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd has been giving our young people an opportunity to talk about what that's been like for them. We met with them online 2 weeks ago, and the hard thing for me was to hear how hard it is for them to know what to do. And as an advocate for youth, I certainly don't want them feeling hopeless about a situation in which their gifts are needed, probably now more than ever. So we developed a supply drive, an opportunity to take supplies that will be needed by those neighborhoods near Lake Street to Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, a church that is a neighborhood church right there. We have some personal contacts with that church through Jean. Her nieces are both very involved in the leadership of that congregation. So last Sunday, we gathered supplies. The youth did, and many of you came and brought supplies. 3 carloads went down to Holy Trinity. And the young people who were there, their response was, how can we help more? How can we be here at Holy Trinity unloading and distributing? So there's that sense that youth want to be engaged. With what's happening with COVID, is that means that parents have to be engaged to help their youth be engaged, because we can't share carpooling to Holy Trinity. So I ask you, as a parent of a young adult, grades 6 through 12, be an advocate for your teenagers. Right now, they're not able to do baseball and softball and so many other things that allow them to have social interaction. Help them get involved in social interaction here at Nativity. Help them with the next supply drive that's about to happen in a week or 2. Help them with the day canoe trip that we hope to do. All sorts of safe, in-person, but socially distanced activities. Help our young people gather by making it a priority in your family. Regarding our children, we're talking about Camp in a Box, all sorts of things that we might be able to deliver to your house, and that we might ask you to in turn create a video of what your family has done to celebrate each event that we'll offer throughout the months of the summer. So stay tuned. Jean will have a lot to share with us about faith formation regarding children and youth. I'm working with adults with adult faith formation, and one of the things that came out of the murder of George Floyd is a sense that we don't know what to do, but we know we need to do something. And nobody's going to get it right. And so we make space for not having done it perfectly, but we need to start talking. Last night, Wednesday night, 18 of us gathered online for a conversation about a book regarding why do all the Black kids sit together in the cafeteria. It's a beginning. It's maybe not a perfect beginning, but it's a place to start, to begin the conversation about what it takes to not only not want to continue racism, but to actually be somebody who's committed to being an anti-racist, which means looking at all the ways that it's hard for us to see that we ourselves have some part of us that at times can be racist. That at some point in our life, we've been complicit. Instead of speaking up and speaking out, instead of advocating, instead of amplifying the voices that don't get heard in our society. There's so much to learn. And the people who gathered last night are able to create a space that's brave. We realize that we really can't create a safe space, but we can create a brave space, a space where there's enough grace for us to talk about really hard issues and what it really means to follow the way of Jesus, to follow the way of love. So I invite you to join us Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for that conversation. Bible studies also continue on Tuesday mornings at 10:30. There's a link for that as well. And I have some other ideas about how we might gather to continue to practice, to truly practice the ways of Jesus. So stay tuned for more information about that as well. As Jim already mentioned, music is one of the core values of our faith community. And I look forward to how we continue to express music, express our faith through music. We're so blessed with Bonnie Faber, who has joined us as our Director of Music Ministry and Liturgy. I look forward to getting to know Bonnie better. One of the things that she and I have talked about is not only how we do ministry with music online, but how will we do it once we come back into our space? We don't have any sure solutions at the moment, but some of the things that we're talking about that I think are fairly safe is handbell choir. What a great thing that handbells can help provide music during our worship in a way that's safe. Also, looking forward to how we will sing together. Science is still out, it seems, on some of the ways in which COVID is spread, and I look forward to us learning more in the coming months about COVID to get some of our questions answered. But we're thinking of ways that we can do it safely, that we can stream music into the worship from our very own talented musicians here at Nativity, whether they be vocalists, the choir, the ensembles, guitar players, our talented organist, Charlotte, the beautiful stringed music that has come to us from both Tuca and Allison Brusco, all sorts of ways that we can bring instruments into our worship. A huge shout out to Dave Retton, who at this point is helping Bonnie together. They're layering the different elements of music to create one song to put online. And I'm grateful to both of them for the ongoing work that they're doing to make that happen for us here at Nativity. I can't help but talk about all the staff and not mention Kathleen. Kathleen, our assisting priest, a great gift to all of us. Kathleen and Bonnie and I weekly spend time thinking through what it is that we have to offer in worship, what praise we want to offer God, and what are those things that we need to pray for, that we need to give voice to. Bonnie's years of liturgical direction is so incredibly helpful to us at this time. And Kathleen and I, of course, it's great to have someone to bounce ideas off of, especially to talk about sermons, and I'm grateful to her. Nancy, our office administrator, pulls it all together and gets it out to you digitally so that you can download a worship aid at home. Or for those of you who aren't on computer, that we've been able to mail you the worship aid so that you can get on the phone and be a part of worship through your telephone. We're trying all sorts of things. If you have ideas that you think would be helpful for us, feel free to call or email me. All that information is on our weekly e-notes, so you can always reach out to me. Thanks for being a part of how we pray together at Nativity.
Now on to the financial health. As we last communicated, we did secure an SBA Payroll Protection Program loan to help manage staff payroll and pay utilities. We are nearing the 8-week duration, but as many things are in our environment, things are changing. They've expanded from 8 weeks to 24 weeks for the loan pay period to be forgiven. So that looks like it's going to allow us to have the entire amount of $40,000 completely forgiven. So that's great news. As for the giving in May, giving came in strong. We find ourselves slightly behind our income for our 2020 budget, but we have managed expenses well year to date. A huge thank you from the bottom of our hearts from the vestry and the staff for all of you